You recognize this? That's probably because you deal with doom scrolling. Stay tuned because I'm going to show you how to overcome that. Let's go. How many times have you said to yourself, you're going to go to bed early, you're going to wake up, you set your alarm, 6 a.m., 7 a.m., you have a target to go to the gym and start your day on fire. You walk over to your bed, put your phone down, try to go to sleep, and you feel something pulling you back towards your phone. You grab your phone, and now you're doom scrolling. 5 minutes in, you tell yourself, okay, just a few more minutes. Look at the clock, and it's 3 a.m. You've gone down rabbit holes, and now you're sleeping in. You're not hitting your targets. This is what brain rotting does. If you're in your 20s, you cannot let brain rot eat you alive. And I say this seriously because if you feel low motivation, if you feel low self-esteem, procrastinating, hard to go out there and execute tasks, take a look at your screen time. Take a look at how often you are sitting there and scrolling and scrolling. The 20s is what shapes your future. In this video, I'm going to break down what are the hidden signs of you being in a brain rut cycle, what's the science behind it, and how you can cure it. I'm going to give you some tactics that you can implement right away to cure this brain rot and go out there and attack your goals. Let's jump in. Little disclaimer here, I'm not a neuroscience, I'm not a neurologist. This is just my own research, and this is some experimenting that I've done with myself. So I encourage you, this video could be one step in your research, but go out there and do your own research as well. So there was a study done a few years ago where they examined the brain after scrolling for hours and hours, video games, TikTok, Instagram. So what they found, what it does to your dopamine regulator, it overloads it. So in turn, this makes it much more difficult to execute boring and necessary tasks. Things that may need to get done that you may not like doing, it makes it so much harder to actually take that leap of faith and jump into that task because your mind has already been fed with all that dopamine. This can lead to attention deficit, inability to have patience with certain things, which can in turn lead to a fast temperament. So this can lead to a lot of different things. Now, I can tell you, probably a lot of people deal with this. This may resonate with you. Scrolling, and then all of a sudden you try to do a task and you're just not motivated to. It's hard for you to go out there and execute on a certain task. I'm gonna give you an anecdote to this that will get rid of this brain rot right away. Let's try this out. I'm not a huge morning routine guy, but what I don't do in the morning is wake up and immediately go on my phone and start scrolling for 30 minutes to an hour. That can be detrimental if you want to go out and achieve any sort of success in your life. And the reason being is because you open your phone and you're immediately attacked with advertisements, people trying to sell you things, headlines, news. There's so many things going on in your brain in that first 30 minutes of you waking up. So what it does is you get a quick dopamine spike immediately waking up in the morning. You didn't do anything to actually get rewarded for that dopamine spike. You didn't win a game, you didn't accomplish a task, you didn't do anything productive and then give yourself that dopamine spike. You immediately woke up and you went right into that. So that rewires the reward system in your brain. Your brain is typically used to having that dopamine happy feeling after accomplishing something. But if you're overloading it without accomplishing something, it's going to think that that's okay and that's the norm. Why do I have to go out there and be productive? Why do I have to accomplish certain tasks? So you get stuck in this and you get stuck in this and you get stuck in this. So with this being said, this is your anecdote here. What I did when I was struggling with this and what I highly recommend is something we call delayed gratification. So if you want to go ahead and scroll on your phone, then you have to complete a certain responsibility or a certain task prior to doing that. This is how you're going to reshape your reward system, meaning that if you know you have to take the trash out, you have to do the dishes, and you have to make some phone calls, then you don't get to play video games or scroll on your phone until those tasks are done. Rewire it. Try doing this. Depending on how much you struggle with this brain rotting and the doom scrolling, you may have to add some more discipline in there. You may actually have to get out a timer and say to yourself, okay, if I complete these tasks, I can get 15 minutes of scrolling. If I complete this task, I can get 30 minutes of scrolling, right? This may not be necessary for everybody, but try putting the productivity in front of the doom scrolling And I can guarantee you, not only will you feel refreshed, but you will feel a lot more in control. And that's where the problem lies. It's the control factor, right? What happens is some people get hooked in this brain rotting, and they're scrolling and they lose control of their self. When you lose control of yourself, this can lead into low self-esteem, low motivation, just low confidence across the board, because you deal with something that's extremely bad, and this is so time consuming. Now, the thing is with this is, I agree. Sitting down, scrolling on your phone for a little bit, it's almost like the new news, right? If you go back to the 1990s, even 15, 20 years ago, everybody would have the newspaper open right, first thing in the morning. Now, open up your phone, social media is the news. There is a relaxing component to this, but if you feel demotivated and if you feel like you can't get anything done, this is where I would highly encourage you to try this technique. And again, you're gonna feel great. Well, listen, here is the reality. This is not only affecting people in their 20s, it's affecting people at all ages, 30s, 40s, 50s, maybe less so in your 60s and 70s, but it's affecting a lot of people. Now, if you don't put a stop to this, ask yourself, what may the consequences be? Maybe it's not anything extremely terrible, but I can tell you, if you're in your 20s, the consequences will be not achieving your goals. Another tactic that I hear is very popular out there is a dopamine detox. There is certain extents to dopamine detox. People do it for a couple of days. People completely disconnect off the grid for a long period of time. If you want to try a dopamine detox, I would start small, maybe from the moment that you wake up until the moment that you go to bed. Another tip that I would give you is maybe create safe spaces in your home. Now, again, this will depend on the certain extent that brain rotting is affecting you, right? So what I mean by this is, for me, when I go to the dinner table, I do not have I put my cell phone away. I put it down. I'll put it in the kitchen, because I like to have that specific time, just me and my significant other, or the family. I put that away. You got to be present. Otherwise, what's going to happen is you're going to have this phone with you wherever you go, and it's going to ultimately become one with you. So create areas where you disconnect. That would be a really good first step, and then you can go into the delayed gratification aspect and just disconnect. Go outside, play a sport, go get some food, drive around, go to the beach, go to the park. Disconnect from the digital aspect for just probably 12, 15, 16 hours. And I can guarantee you that not only will you feel, again, refreshed, but if you have a partner, significant other, and you're doing that with her, I can tell you that you probably will feel so much more connected. You guys will probably talk about things and have such deep conversations that you're going to be very surprised, because humans were not meant to live scrolling and brain rotting. Take the tools that I give you here, apply it if you're struggling with these kind of things, because remember, this channel is to help build you into the best version of yourself, and I want to give you as many tools as I can to get you out of any funks that you may be in. So with that being said, let's rock and roll. Don't forget to like and subscribe. I'll see you in the next video. Every week I'm bringing you value, and let's do it.